Hello everyone, this is FoxyPapaSmurf, or FPS Gamer for short. Today I'm bringing you some footage of the Star Wars Battlefront 3 beta. For those of you like myself that are unfamiliar with the franchise, the last game came out in 2005 and was a very well received addition to the franchise. And I have kind of a unique perspective on this because unlike most people playing the beta, I've actually never owned or even played any of the installments in the Battlefront series. So this will be entirely new for me. As you can see, this is my first time playing one of these, and so I have to enter a username, and of course we're going to go ahead and enter FoxyPapaSmurf. There's a few things you can look at in the beta. Most of it is locked, and you have to buy the full game when it comes out later this year in order to unlock most of these features. In the beta there's two games available. There's Walker Assault, which is the large-scale map, and Drop Zone, which is a smaller 8v8 map. And actually for a while into the beta, I had a lot of trouble finding and connecting with a match. So the first thing I actually did was go over to Missions and do the new survival game mode. I know a lot of people that watch my channel are fans of the Halo franchise, and so for those of you that are familiar with the game mode Firefight, you'll find this survival game mode as something that you can relate to. When you start the match, you have an array of weapons to choose from. All the different obtainables or different things you can unlock are automatically given you to choose from, along with different loadouts, I guess you could call them. You can have a jetpack or a certain type of grenade, and also a specific power-up. The cinematics look really, really good. I did notice that there were some popping and some glitches that showed up. Some of the shading didn't look quite right, and I'm sure most of this will be solved by the time the full game comes out later this year. One thing I noticed that I thought was actually really neat is that some of the particles and explosions and fire and special effects that you see mimic the practical effects that you see in the movie franchise, along with the sounds. It sounds and looks and feels like you're watching a movie straight out of the movie series. And just like in regular Stormtrooper fashion, they don't have a very good aim. So I found this first wave actually really easy. Even though, like I said, this is my first time ever playing a Battlefront game, I found this ridiculously easy. As the waves continue, they obviously do get more difficult as you go on. And unfortunately in the beta, you only have one difficulty available to you. You can only play I think on normal is what it is, and obviously in the full game you can play an array of different difficulties to match your playstyle. Different drop pods drop in during the match, and they will give you certain pickups that you can use to defend yourself against things like ATSTs or more powerful opponents. I happened to just get lucky here fighting this ATST. In the position I was in, his gun was low enough that he couldn't hit me, so I don't think this is normally supposed to be this easy. It's really the best way to take care of these guys is to get to a spot where they can't really shoot at you. Like I said, I kind of flew through these waves pretty quickly. It wasn't very difficult. I'm sure the full game will have a difficulty that would be more challenging and maybe a little more fun. So you see one of these pickups I earned was a vehicle turret, which, as the name implies, is very effective against larger enemy vehicles. And at the bottom of the screen you'll see my I guess it's a health or stamina bar that will go down as I take damage, but if I can stay in cover long enough, it will replenish itself slowly. One of those charge collectibles is what I can use to use my special ability, and for me it makes any of the primary weapons I'm using inflict more damage. It's almost like a damage boost, again, for those of you familiar with the Halo franchise. And you see one of those other stormtroopers had a different power-up that actually gives you like a portable bubble shield. The only downside is you can throw grenades out of it, but you can't shoot out of it. And you can see I just used that jetpack, which is one of the equipment. It's the equipment I opted to pick at the beginning of the game. And this final wave, they managed to get the upper hand and take one of those supply pods from me, so I was not able to access it in order to find a weapon to use against this ATST, but I did find a way to manipulate it, and it's kind of a cheap way. When you're fighting against the AI, they don't quite understand the tactics that you're using, so I was able to just walk up under it, and after a few minutes of just shooting at the bottom of it with him not being able to hit me, I managed to kill him. So it's a little cheap, but like I said, since I didn't get that pod, there's no real other way to do it. And it was pretty fun. I like it. I'm looking forward to when the full game comes out, trying the other maps and the difficulty settings. This is the error I ran into the majority of the night while trying to connect to a match. I don't know if a lot of people got this error or if it was exclusive to me, but it was pretty annoying. I sat there with that error for a long time. Eventually I did finally get into a game, and I played as the Empire, attacking the rebels on the Battle of Hoth. The visuals looked, I mean, astounding. Obviously, since it's a beta, they're going to put their best foot forward and really show you the best aspects of the game. You see I just activated a vehicle pickup. That's how the vehicles work in the game. When you walk over one, you have the option, you have a few seconds to activate it if you choose to, and if not, then someone else will get a chance to. It's actually a very, very powerful asset to your team. The only downside is that, as you saw with me playing the survival game mode, if you're too close to an opponent, you can't hit them. So you can see this infantry player is running at me because he knows if he's close enough to me, I won't be able to hit him. Thankfully, my teammates kind of covered me a little bit there and took care of him. They have a good amount of health, more than I was expecting. Again, if you're used to something more like Halo, and you're in a vehicle, you know that the damage you can take is actually very, very limited. But here in Battlefront, the vehicles are actually very, very powerful, and I saw even really competitive players picking them up and using them because they were that strong. I wonder if they'll keep it that way in the full game, or if they'll try to nerf it and balance it out a little bit more, because the vehicles were extremely useful. I mean, the game looks and feels awesome. It really does feel like you're in this battle. It's a lot of fun. I picked up one of those tokens to play as the AT-AT, basically riding in a big metal camel. And you can't control where it goes. This is the source of a lot of debate for other people that have played other games in the franchise. Apparently you could walk these things wherever you wanted, and this is actually on rails, which, as I said, a lot of people weren't a fan of. They didn't like the fact that you had to follow a specific track. But I still thought it was way fun. Again, maybe it's me being naive. I haven't played any other Battlefront games, so I guess I haven't been spoiled. But I thought piloting it was a lot of fun. And it makes sense that you can't pilot it, since it's part of the objective to get it to the other end of the base and destroy the generators. You really have no other destination, so there's no real purpose to drive it anywhere else but straight there. But it was a lot of fun. It's one of those really cinematic moments in the game. I'll just let you guys have a listen to it and get the full effect. As you can see, I used one of those orbital strikes, which is a power and ability that the AT-ATs have, and it's very, very strong. If you happen to get a clump of enemies together, it's very effective to use it against them. And that was my first encounter with one of the heroes. In this case, I played against Luke Skywalker, and it was very short-lived. I lost that very quickly. As the game goes on, the objective for the Rebels is to activate the uplinks, and the Empire is to take them offline, so that's what I did right there shortly before dying. And later I picked up a power-up for one of the TIE fighters, and this was a lot of fun. They're very, very hard to control, and I'll let you guys get the full effect of that.
Remain unprotected for a short time.
And when the match ends, it actually will disable you from moving, so if you're flying like I was, it will just run you straight into the cliffside. So my first match, I played as the Empire and we won, and I didn't do very great personally, but it was still a lot of fun. The next match I played as the Rebels, and I would say it was equally fun. I don't know what it was, but in this match I noticed that there are a lot of problems with the spawning. There was more than once that I spawned and immediately died time after time after time after excruciating time. And even there, as you saw, I spawned and I spawned where an orbital strike was incoming. Had I not run, that would have instantly killed me. And of course, it's not any fun spawning directly in front of Darth Vader either. And even another time, an enemy spawned right with us, and he was as confused as we all were until I shot him in the back. So, as I said, the spawning definitely needs some work. Again, it probably will be fixed by the time the full game comes out, but in the beta, definitely saw some errors. I also had to pilot an A-Wing, which was fun. It doesn't have the flexibility that the TIE fighters have, but it was still a fun vehicle to pilot. And the Snowspeeder was also fun. I got to use it against some of the AT-ATs. In one match, I actually managed to take out 2 of them simultaneously, so that was a lot of fun. It's just a really epic battleground.
Here they come.
There was a time, though, playing as the Empire that I was going on a pretty good killing streak.
We've deactivated that uplink. Our AT-AT will only be vulnerable for a little longer. Push the rebel scum back. The rebels have activated the uplink station. We must shut it down.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking a look. I really appreciate your support on these videos. I had an absolute blast playing this game. I had never played a Battlefront before, and like I said, it makes me a little bit sad that I never played one. It really came down to the fact that my friends didn't play it. I only play the games my friends play, but that might change. I mean, I had a great time with this game. Well, thank you guys again for all the support. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and share with any other Star Wars fans out there. And I'll catch you guys next time.